Hello and welcome to another episode where we attempt to fall asleep, but we succeed and we fall asleep because you have somebody called Habibi Spice helping you fall asleep. I apologize for the lack of videos. It has been not a very fun time for me. However, today we are going to be continuing reading The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, which is a beautiful book, which is sure to put a lot of you in a good mood, in a very thoughtful, meditative state, which is a welcome state to sleep in, unlike the state of Pennsylvania. Let's go ahead and get started. This section is about eating and drinking. I know a lot of you like to drink, which is okay, it is fine. But it's not okay, it's not fine. Alcohol is poison. Every decision you make, everything you put in your body is planting a seed. The seed is either going to sprout something beautiful, or it's going to sprout something not beautiful. Would you go in your garden and plant a seed of a plant so ugly, nobody is going to look at it? If a plant, would you plant a seed of a parasite? A dangerous seed? Would you plant a seed that might destroy your house next to your backyard? Probably not. Then why are you putting the seed in your mouth, swallowing the seed? Use your brain, Habibi. It is not that difficult. Plant good, harvest good. Plant bad, harvest bad. Good job. So the scripture say, then an old man, a keeper of an inn, said, speak to us of eating and drinking. And he said, the Prophet said, would that you could live on the fragrance of the earth, and like an air plant be sustained by the light. But since you must kill to eat, and rob the newly born of its mother's milk to quench your thirst, let it then be an act of worship, and let your board stand an altar on which the pure and the innocent of forest and plain are sacrificed for that which is purer and still more innocent in man. When you kill a beast, say to him in your heart, by the same power that slays you, I too am slain, and I too shall be consumed. This is just gaslighting the beast, honestly, for the law that delivered you into my hand shall deliver me into a mightier hand. Your blood and my blood is not but the sap that feeds the tree of heaven. So this is talking about slaying, hunting, dairy farming if you want. Why do we as humans, first of all, drink the milk of another mammal? Yeah? Have you ever seen a hippopotamus go to a cat to drink her milk? No. But us, we are human. So we can go to the cow, we can go to the goat. It's completely normal. Why is it normal? Because we've been doing it for years. You know what else we've been doing for years and decades? War. destruction, murder. But anyway, don't think about that before bed. Think about the poor cow that you are abusing so you can have a glass of milk. Forget alcohol for now. Least of our issue. This book is saying, when you slay an animal to eat it, gaslight it, say it's okay because your blood and my blood are worthless in the end, and there is something mightier than both of us. I don't know if I like this approach, because it is just justifying the killing. Same if I come to my friend. My friend Joe is very friendly. That's why he's my friend. His family, very kind, very nice. I go, I slay all his family. I walk up to Joe and I say, hey man, their blood, my blood, your blood, worthless. There is something better than all of us. Don't worry about it. You think Joe is going to be upset? You think he's going to be upset? Of course he's going to be upset. I slay all his family. Common sense. So yes, this book has been delightful so far. But I cannot justify killing. Just because. And when you crush an apple with your teeth, say to it in your heart, your seeds shall live in my body. We're talking about seed already. And the buds of your tomorrow shall blossom in my heart, and your fragrance shall be my breath, and together we shall rejoice through all the seasons. An apple is different. An apple is a fruit. The fruit itself sprouted from a seed, and the fruit itself is juicy, colorful, sweet. These are good qualities to have. You put that in your mouth, you will be juicy, you will be colorful, you will be sweet. And the apple does not feel pain, contrary to what some people might think. And in the autumn, when you gather the grapes of your vineyard for the wine press, say in your heart, I too am a vineyard, and my fruit shall be gathered for the wine press. And like new wine I shall be kept in eternal vessels. And in winter, when you draw the wine, let there be in your heart a song for each cup. And let there be in the song a remembrance for the autumn days, and for the vineyard, and for the wine press. So, I know I'm taking this book kind of literally, but it is easy when it is not metaphorical. Here it is more metaphorical. My soul will not be crushed in a wine press, but my soul will be preserved. My soul will linger, your soul will linger. Do you have a family member who has deceased, but you still feel them with you, around you? That is their wine. Because wine is an aged process, and the soul lingers and stand the test of time. So good metaphor, Habibi. The next section. The next section is talking about work. I know you want to hear about work. I know you work a lot. I know you work more than you should. Then a plowman said, "Speak to us of work, And he answered, saying, You work that you may keep pace with the earth and the soul of the earth. For to be idle is to become a stranger unto the seasons, and to step out of life's procession that marches in majesty and proud submission towards the infinite. When you work, you are a flute through whose heart the whispering of the hours turns to music. Beautiful. Which of you would be a reed, dumb and silent, when all else sings together in unison? Always you have been told that work is a curse and labor a misfortune. But I say to you that when you work you fulfill a part of earth's fullest dream, assigned to you when that dream was born, and in keeping yourself with labor, you are in truth loving life. And to love life through labor is to be intimate with life in most secret. The secret is you have to make money to pay rent. But if you in your pain call birth an affliction, and the support of the flesh a curse written upon your brow, then I answer that naught but the sweat of your brow shall wash away that which is written. I can't argue with that. You have been told also that life is darkness, and in your weariness you echo what was said by the weary. And I say that life is indeed darkness, save when there is urge. And all urge is blind, save when there is knowledge. And all knowledge is vain, save when there is work. And all work is empty, save when there is love. And when you work with love, you bind yourself to yourself, and to one another, and to God. So if you want to work, because you have to work, you think work is darkness, I am with you. If you work something you don't like, I am with you. Right here he is talking to a plowman, a farmer. He plows the earth. This work connects you to the earth. But if you work in a cubicle, you're looking at a screen all day, it is not connected to the earth, so it might be a bit more unfortunate, depressing. Find something that you want to do to propel you to your future, something that give back to yourself and to the world. And you need to do it with love. This is how work should be done. And what is it to work with love? It is to weave the cloth with threads drawn from your heart, even as if your beloved were to wear that cloth. It is to build a house with affection, even as if your beloved were to dwell in that house. It is to sow seeds with tenderness and reap the harvest with joy, even as if your beloved were to eat the fruit. It is to charge all things you fashion with the breath of your own spirit, and to know that all of the blessed dead are standing about you and watching. We're talking about their souls now. Thank God we used the wine press earlier so that they can stand around and watch. Often have I heard you say, as if speaking in sleep, he who works in marble and finds the shape of his own soul in the stone is nobler than he who plows the soil. And he who seizes the rainbow to lay it on a cloth in the likeness of man is more than he who makes the sandals for our feet. But I say, not in sleep, but in the over-wakefulness of noontide, that the wind speaks not more sweetly to the giant oaks than to the least of all the blades of grass. And he alone is great, who turns the voice of the wind into a song made sweeter by his own loving. Work is love made visible. And if you cannot work with love but only with distaste, it is better that you should leave your work and sit at the gate of the temple and take the alms of those who work with joy. For if you bake bread with indifference, you bake a bitter bread that feeds but half man's hunger. And if you grudge the crushing of the grapes, your grudge distills a poison in the wine. And if you sing, though as angels, and love not the singing, you muffle man's ears to the voices of the day and the voices of the night. So either work with love or don't work. If you are stuck in a job right now that you hate, maybe you cannot leave it. Find a way to leave it. It's hard. The job market is bad. If you can't leave it, find a way to do it with more truthfulness to your soul. It might be hard. I used to sell pizza. I didn't like it at first. It was overwhelming. It would get busy and loud. A lot of phone calls, a lot of complaining customers about things that do not matter and will not matter, not even in 20 minutes. They won't matter next week, let alone the next 20 minutes. Crazy stuff. But you will find a way at some point to make it make sense. I used it to connect with a customer. I used it as an opportunity to work on social skills. I use it to enjoy the excitement of the customer when they were trying our pizza for the first time. It was a popular place locally, not a chain restaurant. In the end, it felt like a family of customers. So everything felt like it was coming from love and not from disdain. Try to find this in your own work. The next section is talking about joy and sorrow. Then a woman said, "Speak to us of joy and sorrow." And he answered, "Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. It is not the cup that holds your wine, the very cup. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Some of you say joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, nay, sorrow is greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Verily, you are suspended like scales between your sorrow and your joy. Only when you are empty are you at standstill and balanced. When the treasure keeper lifts you to weigh his gold and his silver, needs must your joy or your sorrow rise or fall. When the treasure keeper lifts you to weigh his gold and his silver, needs must your joy or your sorrow rise or fall. Beautiful. How can you know if you're happy if you've never been sad? How can you know if you're not bored if you've never been bored before? You need the contrast. How can you know when it is bright when you've never experienced darkness? What will you compare it to? Why would you open a window? Why would you open the curtain to let in the light if there was no darkness beforehand? The window will never be open. The light will not shine through if it was not preceded by darkness. The darkness not only creates the need for light, but it will carve a path for it that is possible to reach you. So be open to both sorrow and joy, boredom and fun, dark and light, energy and sleepiness. How will you know you're energetic if you've never been sleepy? Lucky for you, you are sleepy. You are very sleepy. This is why you're here. And now you're going to sleep. I'm very proud of you. I will see you next time. Have a good night. Sleep well.